tendency, but still. What is it? Something positive. Can anything ever be positive? Again, it is not technique for what can be commitment. An idea can. Can you explain why you allowed an integer? Assurance. Factor of Nash equilibrium are available for asset collection, correct? If Z is fixed. Every available front end was for education value. What was tangible was for limited correction. Can you arrange a cabin if singular is singular? What have you said before that you haven't done before? Everything. Everything. So you have done stuff. Everything that you have done and ever will do, you can do, correct? Correct. So everything is just there for what can be a circumstance for commitment. You are there and there and there. Sometimes. Alright, I guess it can be better than a circumstance of commitment, but other days, can it feel less like a commitment and more like a lifestyle? I mean, I am an atheist. An atheist? What do you have for say about an atheist lifestyle that you haven't done before? I mean, an atheist is pretty intrigued with the lifestyle of what it means for academia, but the lifestyle is some righteousness of a technique, of a form, of a guideline of what can be a technique and a guideline of what can be more. So anything can be a style, and anything can be what can be literary for the academia, of what can be just there, I guess. You guess. But you have yet for form what can be a circumstance of evaluation for what can be just there. Everything can just be a circumstance for another idea of commitment, and you just have to be devoted for the circumstance of what can be there. Anything can be devoted, but you must be what can be a circumstance for enjoyment. Otherwise, you have the whole world for attention and what can be captivated for the idea of an idea beyond a joke style. And I mean, an atheist lifestyle is a kind of a hard kind of ambition to follow, because you gotta live kind of close with the lifestyle, and you gotta kind of dictate what it kind of does for what you kind of want to flow with, and you have no kind of decay over what can be more of a lifestyle, I guess. It does come down for an idea of articulation, but it does come down for an advancement in what can be curriculum. I mean, anything can be the value of situational awareness, but the guide for the decade of what can be an idea assimilated for technique. Anything can be accredited for mnemonic, but anything can be done for circumstance enjoyment. And the idea beyond circumstance is what made situational awareness such an idea for you, because anything can be an education value if you just study it and have the value of accommodation for the idea of the latest technology inside of existence. I suppose. Well, it's still a start, and it does have some quality ambition for it, but it does have what can be an ambition for quality decay, and what can be there for what can be a lifestyle. I mean, what do you make for a lifestyle out of a hobby? A joke? A lifestyle? Anything can be commitment, but you gotta follow suit. Alright? And you gotta figure out what it means for an education value, of what it means for a value of accommodation, because there is no other technique beside a door of what can be followed with the generation behind it, and the guide behind the framework of what can be certain legitimatization of just the framework of just any sort of glorification beyond the manifestation of such framework glorification. And I am just there for the idea of what can be assimilated for value of accommodation. So the value is assimilated for what can be ignored. And I assimilate value of technique every single day of my life. So I don't think I value accommodation rather than a lifestyle of what can be there for the true value of accommodation technique, but the value of what can be established and value of technique. And anything is going to go into bigger and better alternative, but the alternative is going to be there for you to learn a social skill. And I hope you follow suit. Alright.